We finally have some solid news when it comes to the return of Bryan. The problem is, it's both good news and bad news. The good news is he'll pitch either today or tomorrow. The bad news is it's probably going to be out of the bullpen. The Mariners had announced Luis Castillo as tonight's starter earlier this week, and then just this afternoon, they've announced Bryce Miller is starting tomorrow in Game 5. Now, we'd always assumed Bryan was going to start Game 5 on a short pitch count where he'd go 3 or so innings, and then you'd bulk it out of the pen. But instead, the Mariners are opting to go for a more traditional starter like Bryce Miller, who can give them 5 to 6 innings. I'm just guessing he's not ramped up enough to start. Maybe they don't think 50 pitches or so, or maybe it's even less than that, is enough to justify putting him out there as a starter, and they'd rather just use him out of the bullpen instead. I said the Mariners should be able to beat the Tigers without Bryan. Hey, maybe they'll be able to beat the Blue Jays without Bryan, but it gets a heck of a lot harder when you don't have him in there. Because if you had him, there's a very good chance he'd be making his second start of the series on Friday instead of just coming out of the bullpen for the first time this entire postseason. All of this news is putting a ton of pressure on tonight's game. The Mariners had their last massive pitching advantage tonight when Luis Castillo battles against a 41-year-old Max Scherzer. And while Scherzer might be a future Hall of Famer, he has an ERA over 5 this season, got lit up in September, and hasn't started a game in over 3 weeks. Now, how are the Mariners going to do that? Well, they did make some changes to their lineup tonight. They're pulling Victor Robles out of the lineup, putting Dom Canzone in right field, moving Jorge Polanco to DH, and putting Leo Rivas at second. The Mariners have had a couple of cold spots in the lineup this postseason, but you could really only fix one in a given game, and tonight they decided that it was going to be Vic. To me, it shouldn't matter who's in the lineup against Scherzer tonight. The Mariners should feel the pressure to bat around Max Scherzer, because if you don't, then you're just going to squander away the advantage you had built up over the first 2 games of this series. Do you guys have a reaction to any of this news? If you do, drop us a comment and let us know.